What if you could improve your English tonight without studying? Right now, as you lie in bed, your brain is still listening, still learning, even as you fall asleep. Tonight, I will read you 4 calm stories in slow and simple English. Scientists call this comprehensible input. When you relax and simply listen, your brain quietly absorbs the rhythm, the words, and the sound of the language. No effort, no pressure. You don't need to understand every word. The stories will do the work. So take a moment now and get comfortable. Put your phone away, face down, somewhere you can't see it, and gently close your eyes. Take a slow, deep breath in. And slowly breathe out. Good. If these stories help you sleep, subscribe. New stories are waiting for you every week. Our first story is called The Quiet Night Train. The train leaves the station at 11 o'clock at night. It is a long train with the soft yellow lights in every window. Outside, the night is dark and calm. Inside, the train is warm. You have a seat by the window. It is a big, comfortable seat with a soft blue blanket folded on it. You sit down slowly. You put your small bag under the seat, you open the blanket and pull it over your legs. The train begins to move. It moves slowly at first. The station lights pass by the window, one by one. Then the lights become fewer. Then there are no more lights, only the dark, quiet countryside. The train makes a soft, steady sound, like a slow heartbeat. You can feel it gently in your seat. It is a good sound, a safe sound. You look out of the window. The moon is high in the sky. It is a full moon, round and white. Its light falls on the fields outside. The fields look silver in the moonlight. Everything is still. Everything is sleeping. A man walks slowly through the train. He is the conductor. He is an older man with gray hair and kind eyes. He wears a dark blue uniform. He checks the tickets quietly so he does not wake the sleeping passengers. He comes to you and smiles. "Good evening," he says softly. "Good evening," you say. You give him your ticket. He looks at it and nods. "You are going all the way to the mountains," he says. "That is a long journey, about 7 hours. You should sleep. I will wake you before we arrive." "Thank you," you say. "Would you like some tea?" he asks. "We have warm tea in the dining car. I can bring you a cup." "Yes, please," you say. "That would be nice." The conductor walks away. The train continues through the night, humming its slow, steady song. You look around the carriage. It is quiet. A few other passengers are already asleep. An old woman sleeps with her head against the window. A young man sleeps with a book open on his chest. The lights in the carriage are low and warm, like candles. At the far end of the carriage, there is a small dining car. You can see it through the glass door. 4 little tables with white cloths and 1 soft lamp on each table. Nobody is there now. The cups and plates stand ready for the morning, waiting patiently in their cupboards. Even the dining car is sleeping. The conductor walks through the train one more time. He moves slowly without a sound. Here, he picks up a newspaper that has fallen to the floor and folds it neatly. There, he pulls a blanket a little higher over a sleeping child. He turns a light down. He closes a curtain. These are small things, but he does them with great care. He has worked on this night train for 30 years. He knows that his real job is not checking tickets. His real job is keeping the night calm and safe so that everyone can sleep. When he passes your seat, he sees that you are still awake. He smiles and nods as if to say, no hurry. Sleep will come. It always does on this train. After a few minutes, the conductor returns. He carries a small cup of tea on a little tray. The cup is white and the tea is golden brown. Warm steam rises from it. "Here you are," he says. "Chamomile tea. It helps people sleep." "Thank you very much," you say. You hold the cup in both hands. It warms your fingers. You take a small sip. The tea is warm and soft and a little sweet, like honey. You feel the warmth move slowly down into your body. Outside a window, the world passes by, slow and dark and beautiful. You see a small village in the distance. The houses are dark. Only one window has a light, a small orange light, maybe a kitchen, maybe a lamp left on for someone. Then the village is gone and there are fields again. You see a river. The moonlight lies on the water like a long silver road. The river moves slowly, in no hurry at all. Then the river is gone too. You take another sip of tea. The train rocks you gently, left and right, like a slow dance. The train begins to climb. You are coming closer to the mountains now. The fields end and tall, dark trees begin. A forest. Thousands of pine trees standing quietly in the night, covered in soft shadows. Sometimes, between the trees, you see snow. Just a little at first. Thin white lines on the dark ground. Then more. The higher the train climbs, the more snow there is. Now the whole forest is white. Snow lies on every branch of every tree. In the moonlight, the snow shines softly, like sugar. The train slows down, very gently. You look out and see a tiny station in the middle of the forest. It is a small wooden building with a red roof and 2 old lanterns that make 2 circles of golden light in the snow. The sign on the platform is covered in white, so you cannot read the name of this place. Maybe it does not need a name. Maybe it is just the little station in the forest. Nobody gets on the train. Nobody gets off. The train simply rests there for a minute, breathing quietly while the snow falls through the light of the lanterns. Perhaps trains, too, need a small rest sometimes. Somewhere on the platform, you see the station master's window. There is a warm light inside and the shape of a wood stove and a chair. The station master is there every night, all winter, watching the trains rest and go. It must be the quietest job in the world, you think, and perhaps one of the best. Then, softly, the train begins to move again. The little station slides away behind you, its 2 golden lanterns growing smaller and smaller in the white forest, until they look like 2 warm stars. And then the trees close around them, and the night train travels on. It begins to snow outside. Small, slow snowflakes fall past your window. They fall so slowly. They are in no hurry. Nothing tonight is in a hurry. You watch the snowflakes. 1, 2, 3. They dance a little in the wind. Then they fall, soft and silent, into the white forest. Inside the train, you are warm. The blanket is soft on your legs. The teacup is empty now, and you put it on a small table. Your body feels heavy in the best way. Heavy and warm and calm. The wheels hum softly below you. You pull the blanket a little closer and look at your small world inside the cabin. The wooden walls, polished by many years and many hands. The little brass lamp above the window with its round, patient light. The curtains moving very slightly with the movement of the train, as if they are breathing. On the window glass, in the corners, thin patterns of frost have grown. Tiny white ferns and stars, drawn by the cold, lit by the moon. You breathe on the glass, and a small cloud appears and slowly fades. Outside, the white world rolls past. Inside, everything is still and warm. Two worlds, one thin window between them, and you, safe on the warm side. You think about the journey. 7 hours through the night. 7 hours of this soft rhythm, this warm carriage, this quiet snow. There is nothing you need to do. There is nowhere you need to be. The train knows the way. The conductor knows the time. Your only job tonight is to rest. What a simple job. What a good job. Your eyes begin to feel heavy. You let them close for a moment. You still hear its soft, steady rhythm. You still feel the gentle rocking, left and right, left and right. You open your eyes slowly, one more time, and look outside. The train is high in the mountains now. Below, in a valley, there is a small town. All the roofs are white with snow. Smoke rises slowly from a few chimneys, thin and gray against the night sky. The people there are sleeping. The whole town is sleeping under its warm, white blanket of snow. Above the mountains, the sky is full of stars. So many stars. More stars than you can count. They are quiet and patient. They have been there for a very long time, and they will be there tomorrow, and the night after, and the night after that. The moon watches over the mountains. The mountains watch over the town. The snow falls, soft and slow. And the train carries you gently through it all, soft and steady, soft and steady. You pull the blanket up a little higher, to your shoulders. You lean your head against the seat. The seat is soft. The carriage is warm. The night is long, and that is good, because you have all the time in the world. Somewhere at the front of the train, the conductor sits with his own cup of tea. He watches the snowy tracks ahead. He has made this journey 1,000 times. He knows every turn, every bridge, every quiet forest. Everything is fine. Everything is taken care of. You breathe in slowly. The air smells faintly of tea and warm wool. And you breathe out slowly. The train rocks you, left and right, left and right. The snow falls, slow and white, slow and white. The stars shine, quiet and far, quiet and far. Your eyes close again. This time you do not open them. There is no need. The gentle sound of the train grows softer and softer, like a voice saying, "Rest now, rest now, rest now." The night train travels on through the Silver Mountains, carrying its sleeping passengers safely through the dark all the way until morning. And you sleep, warm and calm, all the way there. Take a slow breath and relax a little deeper. Our next story is called The Old Lighthouse Keeper. On a small green island, far out in the sea, there stands a white lighthouse. The lighthouse is old, but it is strong. It has stood there for more than 100 years. Its walls are thick and white, and its light turns slowly at the top, around and around, all through the night. In the lighthouse lives an old man named Samuel. Samuel is the lighthouse keeper. He has lived here for 40 years. His hair is white now, like the walls of his lighthouse, and his hands are rough from years of work. But his eyes are calm, and his smile is warm. Samuel loves the evening. The evening is his favorite time. Tonight, like every night, Samuel begins his evening routine. He does the same things in the same order every single night. He likes it that way. The routine is like an old friend. First, he climbs the stairs of the lighthouse. There are 112 steps. He knows because he has counted them many times. He climbs slowly. There is no hurry. His hand slides along the cool metal rail. At the top, he checks the great light. It is already turning slow and steady, around and around and around. The light is bright and warm, like a small sun. It shines far out over the dark water, telling all the ships, "This way is safe. I am here. I am watching." Samuel looks at the light and nods. "Good," he says quietly. Beside the great light stands a small wooden table, and on the table lies the lighthouse logbook. It is a thick old book with a leather cover, soft from many years of use. Every evening, Samuel writes a few lines in it. He takes his pencil, thinks for a moment, and writes, "Calm sea. Light wind from the west. The light is turning well. A quiet evening." Almost every page says something like this: "Calm sea. Quiet evening. All is well." 40 years of quiet evenings, page after page after page. Some people might find that boring. Samuel finds it beautiful. Every quiet page means another night when the ships came home safely. He closes the book gently. Then he takes his soft cloth and polishes the great glass lens, the way he does every evening. Slow, round movements until the glass shines like water. The lens is more than 100 years old, and it still turns the small lamp inside into a great beam of light that reaches far across the sea. Old things work well, Samuel always says, if you are kind to them. He stands for a moment at the top and looks out of the window. The sun is setting over the sea. The sky is orange and pink and gold. The water is calm tonight. Small, gentle waves roll slowly towards the island. He can hear them, soft and far below, rolling in and rolling out. Seabirds fly home across the evening sky. They fly in a slow line, one after another, back to their nests on the rocks. "Good night, birds," says Samuel. Then he climbs back down the 112 steps, slow and steady. At the bottom of the lighthouse is his small house. It has just 3 rooms, a kitchen, a bedroom, and a little sitting room with a fireplace. It is not a big house, but it is enough. It has everything an old lighthouse keeper needs. In the kitchen, Samuel makes his dinner. Tonight it is a simple soup: potatoes, carrots, and a little fish. The soup cooks slowly on the stove. The kitchen fills with a warm, good smell. Outside the window, the sky grows darker and the first star appears. Samuel eats his soup at the small wooden table. He eats slowly. Through the window, he watches the lighthouse beam pass over the water, around and around. The light touches the waves, then moves on, then comes back again, steady as a heartbeat. After dinner, Samuel washes his bowl and his spoon. He dries them with a soft cloth and puts them away, everything in its place. Then comes the best part of the evening. Samuel lights a fire in the small fireplace. The wood is dry and the fire starts easily. Soon the flames are dancing, orange and gold, and the little room becomes warm. The fire makes a soft, crackling sound. Samuel sits down in his old armchair. The chair is worn and soft. It knows his shape after 40 years. Beside the chair sleeps his cat, a big gray cat named Cloud. Cloud opens one eye, sees that Samuel is there, and closes it again. The cat begins to purr. It is a low, warm sound like a tiny engine of happiness. Cloud came to the island 10 years ago on the supply boat, hidden between the boxes of flour and tea. Nobody knew where he came from. He was small then, and thin, and gray as the morning fog. Samuel gave him a little fish and a warm corner by the fire, and Cloud looked around the lighthouse and looked at Samuel and decided, this will do nicely. He has been here ever since. He knows the island better than anyone. Every warm stone, every soft patch of grass, every place where the wind cannot reach. In the daytime, he watches the seabirds with great interest and absolutely no ambition. In the evening, he sleeps by the fire. It is a good life for a cat. It is a good life for a lighthouse keeper, too. "You chose well, old friend," Samuel says softly. Cloud purrs a little louder, a warm and happy sound, which means, "I know." Samuel picks up his book. He reads a few pages every night. It is a book about the sea, of course. All his books are about the sea. Outside, the night is fully dark now. The waves roll in, soft and endless. The wind moves gently around the lighthouse, and above it all, the great light turns around and around, watching over the water. Before he sits down for the evening, Samuel steps outside for a moment onto the small stone path in front of the house. The night air is cool and clean, and it smells of salt and seaweed and wet stone. Above him, the sky is filling with stars, first 10, then 100, then more than anyone could count. On an island with no other lights, the stars are never shy. He stands there for a few minutes, as he does every night, just listening. The waves below, rolling in and rolling out, the wind moving softly around the tower. High above, the slow hum of the great light as it turns. These three sounds have been his music for 40 years. Sea, wind, light. Sea, wind, light. He knows them the way other people know their favorite songs. Then the cool air sends him back inside, to the fire and the armchair and the sleeping cat, which is exactly where an old lighthouse keeper belongs at this hour. Far away, on the Black Sea, Samuel sees a ship. Its small lights move slowly across the horizon. The ship's captain sees the lighthouse, and he knows where he is. He knows the way home. Samuel raises his cup of tea towards the window. "Safe journey," he says to the ship. This is Samuel's work, and he loves it. It is quiet work, patient work. Every night he keeps the light burning, and every night ships find their way. He will never meet the sailors. They will never know his name, but that is fine. The light knows. The sea knows. That is enough. The fire burns lower, soft and glowing. The room is warm and golden. Cloud, the cat, purrs softly in his sleep. The book rests on Samuel's knees. His eyes are getting heavy. He looks around his little room one more time. The fire, the cat, the books, the sound of the sea, the slow beam of light passing the window again and again, faithful as always. "All is well," says Samuel softly. It is the same thing he says every night. All is well. He closes his book and puts it on the small table. He does not need to worry about the light. The light will turn all night, around and around, just like it has for 100 years. It never gets tired. It never forgets. Samuel stands up slowly and walks to his small bedroom. The bed is narrow but soft, with thick, warm blankets, because nights by the sea are cool. He lies down and pulls the blankets up to his chin. Through the small round window above his bed, he can see the beam of light passing across the sky, again and again, like a slow, bright river in the dark. He can hear the waves rolling in, rolling out. They never stop, and they never hurry. They have been rolling onto this island for thousands of years. They rolled here before Samuel was born, and they will roll here long after. There is something very peaceful about that. Cloud the cat pads softly into the bedroom. He jumps onto the bed and curls up near Samuel's feet, a warm gray circle. His purring starts again, low and warm. Samuel breathes in the cool sea air. He breathes out slowly. The waves roll, soft and endless. The cat purrs, soft and warm. The light turns around and around. Everything on the little island is doing exactly what it should do. The sea is being the sea. The light is being the light. The cat is being warm. And the old lighthouse keeper is falling asleep, safe in his strong white tower, while the stars come out one by one over the calm, dark water. All is well, Samuel whispers one last time. And it is. The island sleeps, the keeper sleeps, and high above them, all through the night, the gentle light keeps turning, around and around and around. Take a slow breath and relax a little deeper. Our next story is called A Rainy Day in the Little Bookshop. In a quiet street, in a small old town, there is a little bookshop. The bookshop is called the Reading Room. It has a green wooden door and a large window full of books. Above the door hangs a small bell that rings softly when someone comes in. Today it is raining. It has been raining since early morning. It is not a hard rain, not a storm. It is a soft, steady rain, the kind that can fall all day, the kind of rain that makes the world quiet. Inside the bookshop, it is warm and dry. The owner of the shop is a woman named Clara. She is perhaps 60 years old, with silver glasses and a soft gray sweater. Every morning she opens the shop at 9 o'clock, and every morning she does the same things, in the same peaceful order. First, she turns on the lamps. The bookshop has no bright lights, only small warm lamps. One on the desk, one by the armchairs, one in the back near the old books. The lamps make little islands of golden light between the tall shelves. Then she makes coffee in the small kitchen behind the shop. The smell of coffee fills the air and mixes with the smell of books. Old paper, wood, and coffee. It is the best smell in the world, Clara thinks. While the coffee cools a little, Clara does her slow morning round through the shop. She walks between the shelves with a soft cloth, dusting here and there, straightening a book that leans, turning another so its beautiful cover faces the room. She knows every shelf by heart. Travel books by the window because they like to look outside. Poetry in the quiet back corner because poems need silence. Old novels near the armchairs, close to the readers who love them most. At the front window, she arranges the display. A few books standing open, a small vase with dried flowers, and the old brass reading lamp that has stood there for as long as anyone can remember. People walking by in the rain often stop at this window, just for a moment, just to look at the warm little world behind the glass. Sometimes they come in, sometimes they only smile and walk on, a little warmer than before. Clara is happy with both. Then she simply waits and listens to the rain. The rain falls softly on the window, a slow and steady sound. Little drops run slowly down the glass, joining together, taking their time. Outside, the street is gray and shiny with water. People walk past under umbrellas, but nobody is hurrying. It is not a day for hurrying. The little bell above the door rings. Ding. A young man comes in. He closes his wet umbrella and leaves it by the door. He wipes his shoes carefully on the mat. "Good morning," says Clara. "Terrible weather." "Good morning," says the young man, smiling. "Actually, I quite like it." "So do I," says Clara. "Rainy days are good days for bookshops. Take your time. There is coffee in the corner if you like." "Thank you," he says. The young man walks slowly between the shelves. He is not looking for one special book. He is just looking. He lets his fingers slide gently over the backs of the books. Hundreds of books. Thousands of stories standing quietly side by side, waiting. He stops. He pulls out a book about mountains. He looks at the cover, opens it, reads a few lines. He puts it back carefully, exactly where it was. He takes another book. This one is about the sea. He reads the first page and smiles. He keeps this one under his arm. Clara watches from her desk, drinking her coffee. She loves watching people find books. It is a slow, quiet kind of magic. Against the tallest shelf leans the old wooden ladder. It runs on a little brass rail so it can slide softly from one end of the shop to the other. The ladder came with the shop 50 years ago, and it still works perfectly. The highest shelves hold the oldest books, heavy dictionaries, atlases with maps of countries that have changed their names, and story collections with golden letters on their backs. Once or twice a day, someone asks about a book from up there, and Clara climbs the ladder slowly, one step at a time, while the ladder makes its soft, low-rolling sound along the rail. From the top, she can see the whole shop below her. The islands of lamplight, the rows and rows of quiet books, the rain on the window, the sleeping cat. It is her favorite view in the world. But today, nobody needs a book from the high shelves, so the ladder simply rests against the wall, and the old books sleep on high above the room, dreaming their long, dusty, golden dreams. The rain continues. The clock on the wall ticks softly, slow and steady. Somewhere between the shelves, a wooden floorboard creaks gently under the young man's feet. In the back corner of the shop, there are 2 old armchairs and a small round table. This is the reading corner. A cat is sleeping on one of the chairs. It is the Bookshop cat. His name is Chapter. Chapter is orange and very round and very lazy. Every day he sleeps in the reading corner, and everybody who visits the shop knows him. He is, Clara often says, the true owner of the bookshop. The young man sits down in the free armchair next to the sleeping cat. He begins to read his book about the sea. Chapter opens one golden eye, looks at him for a moment, and decides he is a friend. The cat stretches one paw, yawns, and goes back to sleep. The bell rings again. Ding. An old woman comes in, shaking the rain from her coat. She visits every week. Clara already knows what she likes. "Good morning, Rosa," says Clara. "The new garden books arrived yesterday. I put one aside for you." "Oh, wonderful," says Rosa. "What would I do without you?" Rosa takes her garden book and sits at the small table near the window. Clara brings her a cup of tea without being asked. Rosa turns the pages slowly, looking at pictures of roses and green gardens, while the real rain falls softly on the real window beside her. Around 11, Clara puts the kettle on in the little kitchen behind the shop. The kettle is old and slow, like everything here, and it takes its time. Slowly, slowly, it begins to sing. First a whisper, then a soft, low whistle. Clara warms the brown teapot, spoons in the tea leaves, and pours the water. The good smell of black tea joins the coffee and the books and the rain. She brings the young man a cup without asking. He looks up from his book about the sea, surprised and happy. "Oh, thank you." "Rainy day rules," says Clara. "Everyone who reads gets tea." It is not really a rule, or rather, it became one many years ago on a rainy day just like this. The best rules, Clara thinks, are the ones that make themselves. and so the morning passes. The rain falls, the lamps glow, the cat sleeps, the pages turn. Nobody talks loudly in the bookshop. Nobody needs to. There is only the soft sound of the rain, the quiet ticking of the clock, the sound of turning pages, and sometimes the quiet ring of the little bell. At midday, Clara walks slowly through the shop with a cup of fresh coffee. She straightens a book here, moves a lamp there. She stops at the window and looks out at the rain. The street shines. The rain drops make small circles in the puddles, circle after circle, appearing and disappearing, soft and endless. A bus passes slowly, its windows warm and yellow. The town is calm. A good day, Clara says quietly to herself. A good, slow day. In the reading corner, the young man has finished 3 chapters. His eyes are getting heavy. The chair is soft, the room is warm, the rain is singing its quiet song. His head leans back just for a moment. And he falls asleep, the book open on his chest. Clara sees him and smiles. This happens often in her shop, especially on rainy days. She does not wake him. Instead, she quietly takes a soft blanket from behind the desk. She keeps it there for exactly this reason and lays it gently over him. Chapter. The cat opens his eyes, looks at the sleeping man, and seems to approve. The cat stands up slowly, turns around twice, and settles down again, this time a little closer to the warm human. The bookshop holds them both, safe and calm. The rain keeps falling, soft and patient, on the roof and on the window. The lamps keep glowing, gold and gentle between the tall shelves. The clock keeps ticking, slow and steady. And all the books stand quietly in their rows, thousands of stories, thousands of dreams, watching over the sleeping man and the sleeping cat in the warmest, calmest little shop, on the quietest, rainiest street, in the sleepiest little town in the world. Outside, the rain will fall all afternoon. Inside, there is all the time in the world. Sleep well, says the rain, soft and low. Sleep well, sleep well. Take a slow breath and relax a little deeper. Our next story is called The Baker Who Wakes Before the Sun. In a small town by a river, there is a bakery on the corner of the market square. The bakery is called Marta's. It has been there for 60 years. First it belonged to Marta's grandfather, then to her father, and now it belongs to Marta. Every morning, very early, while the whole town is still asleep, a warm yellow light turns on behind the bakery window. It is 4 o'clock in the morning. It is Marta. Marta does not mind waking up early. She has done it all her life. She likes this hour of the day, the quietest hour, when the streets are empty and the sky is still full of stars. The world belongs only to her, and to the cats, and to the sleeping birds. She unlocks the bakery door and steps inside. The bakery is dark and cool and smells of yesterday's bread. She turns on the lamp, ties her apron, and washes her hands with warm water. Then she begins, the same way she has begun 10,000 times before. First, the oven. The great old oven takes a long time to become warm, so it must be first. She turns it on, and deep inside, it begins its slow, soft humming. The oven is like a big, sleepy animal, waking up slowly, getting warm. Then, the dough. Marta made the dough last night, and it has been resting in large bowls covered with clean white cloths. All night, in the dark, the dough was slowly rising, quietly growing, getting soft and full of air. She lifts the first cloth. The dough has risen beautifully. It is round and soft and smooth like a pillow. She presses it gently with one finger, and it slowly rises back. Perfect. "Good morning," she says to the dough. She always says this. Her grandfather said it too. Marta takes the dough out of the bowl and puts it on the big wooden table. The table is old and smooth from 60 years of work. She sprinkles a little flour over it. The flour falls like soft snow. Then she begins to knead. Kneading is slow, calm work. She pushes the dough with the bottom of her hands, folds it, turns it, and pushes again. Push, fold, turn, push, fold, turn. It is a rhythm, like slow music. Her hands know this rhythm so well that she does not have to think at all. Outside the window, the sky is still dark. A cat walks silently across the empty market square. Somewhere far away, a church bell rings once. 4:30. Marta cuts the dough into pieces and shapes each piece into a loaf. She lays the loaves in a row, like babies in their beds, and covers them again with the cloth. Now they must rest once more. Bread cannot be hurried. Good bread takes time, and Marta has time. In the corner of the kitchen, on its own small shelf, stands a heavy stone pot with a wooden lid. Inside lives the oldest thing in the bakery, the mother dough. It is a soft, living dough that Marta's grandfather started 60 years ago, and it has never stopped. Every day, a small piece of it goes into the new bread, and every day it is fed again with flour and water, so it stays alive and strong. Marta lifts the lid and looks inside. The mother dough has small bubbles on its surface, which means it is happy. "Good morning to you too," she says, and feeds it the way her father did, and his father before him. 60 years of bread, all connected, morning after morning after morning. Every loaf in the baskets is family to every loaf that came before it. Marta likes to think about that while she works. Some things in the world move fast and are forgotten, and some things rise slowly in the dark, in a warm kitchen, and go on forever. While the loaves rest, she begins the croissants. The croissant dough is folded with butter again and again in thin, soft layers. She rolls it out flat, cuts it into triangles, and rolls each triangle gently into its little moon shape. 1, 2, 3, 40 small moons resting on the baking trays. The oven is warm now. Its soft hum fills the bakery, and the air is getting warmer, cozier. The windows begin to steam a little at the corners. At 5 o'clock, the first bread goes into the oven. And then comes the moment Marta loves most. The smell. Slowly, gently, the smell of baking bread begins to fill the bakery. It is warm and golden and deep. It is the smell of comfort, the smell of home. It is impossible to smell baking bread and feel worried at the same time. The smell rises through the bakery, slips under the door, and drifts out into the sleeping street. Marta makes herself a cup of coffee and stands by the window, drinking it slowly. The sky is changing now. Over the roofs of the town, the deep dark blue is becoming softer. A thin line of gold appears in the east. The stars go to sleep one by one. A bird begins to sing somewhere, the first bird, always the same brave little bird, starting the morning song alone. Inside the oven, the bread is turning golden. Through the little glass door, Marta can see the loaves growing, their crusts becoming brown and crisp. The croissants wait for their turn, patient in their rows. While the bread bakes, Marta writes the day's menu on the little chalkboard by the door. Her handwriting is round and friendly, like her bread. Today, farm loaves, croissants, apple cake. She draws a small sun in the corner, as she always does. It is not great art, she knows. But old Mr. Byrne once said the little chalk sun was his favorite part of the morning, and since then, the sun has never missed a day. At the kitchen window, there is a soft knocking sound. Marta smiles. It is the sparrow. Every morning, at 5:45, the same small brown sparrow lands on her windowsill and waits. Marta opens the window a little and puts a pinch of yesterday's breadcrumbs on the sill. The sparrow eats in quick, tidy little bites and looks at her with one bright eye. "Good morning, little one," says Marta. "Cold out there?" The sparrow does not answer because he is a sparrow and because his mouth is full. When he is done, he shakes his feathers, gives one short, satisfied chirp, and flies off into the blue morning. Marta closes the window. The visit lasted 1 minute, like every morning. It is one of her favorite minutes of the day. At 6 o'clock, Marta takes the first bread out of the oven. She uses a long wooden board, and she moves slowly and carefully. The loaves come out golden brown, crackling softly as they meet the cooler air. It is a tiny, warm sound, the sound of fresh crust. Bakers call it the bread singing. Marta lays the warm loaves in the baskets by the window. Then the croissants go into the oven, and soon a new smell joins the first. Warm butter, soft and sweet. The market square is waking up now. The sky is pink and gold. A man opens the flower shop across the square and waves to Marta through the window. She waves back. The town's baker and the town's flower seller, always the first two lights of the morning. At 7 o'clock, Marta unlocks the front door and turns the little sign. Open. The first customer is always the same. Old Mr. Byrne, with his hat and his walking stick. He comes in slowly, closes his eyes, and breathes in the warm bread air. "Ah," he says happily, "now the day can begin." "Good morning, Mr. Byrne," says Marta. "The usual." "The usual," he says. "One small loaf, still warm." She wraps a warm loaf in paper and gives it to him. He holds it against his chest like a warm little treasure and walks home slowly through the golden morning light. A few minutes later, the bell above the door rings again, and in comes Miguel, the flower seller from across the square, carrying one white flower. This is the oldest trade in the town, and it happens every single morning. Miguel brings Marta the most beautiful flower from his shop, and Marta gives Miguel a warm croissant. No money ever changes hands. Nobody remembers exactly when it started, perhaps 20 years ago, perhaps more. It simply is, like the sunrise. "For the counter," says Miguel, handing her the flower. "For the walk back," says Marta, handing him the croissant. Miguel takes a bite before he is even out the door, closes his eyes and shakes his head slowly, the way he does every morning, as if this croissant, this exact croissant, is the best one ever baked. Marta puts the white flour in the little glass vase by the bread baskets, where it will stand all day, making the bakery a little more beautiful. The best trades, Marta thinks, are the ones where both people are sure they got the better deal. More people come. A mother with a sleepy child, 2 workers on their way to the river, a young teacher who buys a croissant every day. Marta greets them all, wraps the warm bread, and watches them carry little pieces of comfort out into the fresh morning. By 8 o'clock, the sun is up, the baskets are half empty, and the whole square smells of bread and coffee and morning. Marta pours herself a second cup of coffee and sits down for a moment on her wooden stool. Her back is a little tired, but it is a good tiredness, the tiredness of work well done. She looks at her bakery, the golden loaves, the warm oven still humming softly, the morning light coming through the window full of tiny dancing flour dust. Tonight, she will make new dough and cover it with cloths and let it rise slowly in the dark while she sleeps. And tomorrow, at 4 o'clock, she will wake again before the sun, and the oven will hum, and the bread will sing, and the little bird will start the morning song. Day after day, slow and warm and good. Good bread takes time, her grandfather always said, and so does a good life. Marta smiles, closes her eyes for a moment, and rests. The oven hums, low and warm and steady. The bread cools slowly, crackling softly. And outside, the little town begins its day, gently, softly, one warm loaf at a time. This is the end of tonight's stories. Sleep well. Good night. Good night.